I'm trying to get power in my shop, and one of the things that's holding me up is I need to bury 165 feet of power cable, and the only thing I have is this 24-inch bucket, and it's going to be 3 feet deep, and it's going to go across my driveway. And I have 2 buckets, and they're both 24-inch, so it seems redundant because every time I need a small bucket, I don't have one. So I think what I'm going to do today is cut this thing down and basically cut it down to like a 12-inch, which is not something I can say I've ever done before. There's already some damage. You can see it's cracked, and some past damage repair. So I think my plan is just to mark it up, kind of follow these original lines, because you want to be able to cut and just kind of do my best. You know, this is just a me not knowing what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm going to give it a shot here. So I'll come back as I make progress and kind of talk about how I'm going about doing each of these things. And I know some of this metal is harder metal, and I'm still on the fence whether I'm going to plasma cut this or just grind it. So it's kind of where I'm at. I got my shitty grinder. I don't have enough power to run the plasma torch, so that's we got the chicken and the egg. So I could go out where it's raining and maybe work in the backyard and cobble up some power, and I don't know, I may end up doing that too, but I'm gonna start. So I'm already sidetracked. I decided I wanted to get this thing further out at the shop because I'm going to be grinding a bunch, and I've got my mill sort of cleanup that's going on over here, and I want to not get tons of dust, but the reason I got sidetracked is that my starter has not worked in forever on this thing, and I thought maybe I would actually finally take a look at it. And I've got this power probe thing, which I got for like 30 bucks. It was a pretty good deal. You can basically zap 12 volts, zap ground, and then I like it because it beeps. It gives you a, well, it was. Let's say if you go to ground, you get a beep. You get a plus, you get a beep. So, like, I know for a fact what's disconnected, which is the solenoid down there. So usually what I do to start it, I keep my key right here. And I just, go hit that with power right down there. But I suspect it's probably one of these dudes. There's a dude just sitting here all by himself, and then I don't know what this white dude does. So I wanted to check those out, which actually I don't need this for that. Okay, that just silences it. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I'll probably break out the meter, and I'm going to see what that does. But I guess I can see if there's anything going on. Nothing going on. Kind of looked like it was getting 0 volts there for a second. Not really beeping, which I think is weird. I can't do this one-handed. Let's see. That's definitely grounded. It's weird, it registers 0 volts, but it doesn't give a good beep. Seems weird. Seems weird, but I want to see if that goes live when I turn the key, because if so, that's probably what's missing. So, theory of operation, we've got a grounded. God, fucking Hornet keeps dive bombing me. That guy's grounded. We just want to verify that when we turn the key, that we temporarily go to 12 volts on this guy. So I'm just going to thumb that guy. 0 volts. Set you down. I don't know where I'm going to set you down. Sorry. It's pretty low. I'm getting 2 volts. Interesting. Go validate we get 12 volts. We do. We're going to do this guy again. I'm sorry I don't have 3 hands. I'm not getting shit. And I did earlier. I'm not going to lie. Because I did it. Oh! Trying to pull one over on you. Just, that's what happened. So, I tested it real quick. I did get 12 volts. I got 11 and then 12 and then, so something between this wire and here is going to be where the problem is. So I'm going to see if I can trace that wire back. And pretty much, if you just look at this simple harness and follow it back, it's going to this big connector, which probably hasn't been apart in 10 years. So I'm going to pull that apart and just see exactly which one it is. It's probably one of these black ones. And then see if I have the same thing here, if I get 12 volts here or not. So we've got some corrosion there. So now I'm going to ohm out between these connectors and our wire over there. It's super helpful to have a set of good alligator clips. These can carry 10 amps. For crap like that where you don't have 3 hands, plus you're trying to hold your phone. Don't just spend what it takes. Get yourself 5 or 6 sets of those. You'll never have them when you need them, but you always need them. You think that means the battery's low? It's just happened. Now I have to go read the manual. I hope it's not because it got a little wet. So while I cry because my fluke is freaking out, it looks like that is a common occurrence and I need to resolder the connector assembly or something. So I grabbed another meter and I cleaned these connectors up. I tend to buy, for this kind of random stuff, Deoxit D5. It's spendy, but you just use a tiny bit, even though they changed it so that now your goofy finger, instead of a nice little trigger, gives you control. But anyway, just clean these out, and then I'm going to coat them up with some dielectric grease and just put them back together. And it's really weird. One of these wires, this wire should be in this harness. So I'm feeling pretty stupid here, but I'm still gonna use the hope method. It doesn't compute, but I thought for sure like this guy would probably be it, but I am definitely not getting a connection. So it's possible too. The problem could be in the connector. But anyway, I'm going to button this back up and kind of start over. So I didn't go too crazy. I just put a stripe of grease up each one. and hopefully that'll collapse at the base there and then just kind of keep water and crud out of there. Okay, so I've pulled the wire out and I've traced it through the harness here, and it is actually going here. So it's not even going up to this connector, so I'm going to close that guy back up. That explains why I'm not getting not seeing it up here. And this probably goes to some sort of, seat safety device or something. So I got to figure out where that goes. Okay, it's going to here. I think I'm going to slit my wrist. If this whole time the problem has just been that this is a little bit out of adjustment. It's the only thing I can think of. So I do feel like you've got two things going on here. This is four-wheel drive, so you've got motors up there, and then I have felt like the fronts pull a little bit more than the rears, and when I'm sitting here centered, there's maybe a little bit of pull somewhere. So it feels like I need some adjustment in here anyway. So I'm going to pop this, I'm going to wire all this back up and test this, and hopefully I can just rock my foot a little and we'll get started. I could always bypass that, but kind of makes sense now. It's just trying not to start up and run over someone at 0.5 mile an hour. Anyway, here's the inside of my little Terramite. It is four-wheel drive. It does have a pretty big pump back there. I think it's 17, might be 17 gallons a minute, and this is straight oil. So it's 10 or 20/40 weight. Typically that is run in the hydraulics, which makes it kind of a weird beast. But anyway, I don't know, I've had it 12 years. It's never let me down. It just doesn't always want to start. So I'm going to fix that, man. Okay, so let's prove it out together that I've been an idiot all these years. So right now we've got the positive terminal going to the ground for the battery, and then we've got this terminal going to our wire that we're monitoring. So let's give it a start. Look at that, we got 11 volts. And then if I reach my foot down here and just put it backwards or something. Yeah. Amazing. There it is. Alright, so now I just need to find a connector to slap on that guy. And I think I can do away with my old key that I've been using for, I don't know, 6 years. I think my neighbor borrowed it, and I told him sometimes he had to jiggle something. Anyway, this has been my key, and I didn't want to put just a button. You could just add a button here to bypass all of it, but I like a lot more knowing how it's supposed to work. And as my abilities improve, at some point I'm going to be getting in here and replacing some thick plate in here. We've got some stuff going on, and check this out. I think there must be water in here. It's been freezing over the years. It's got this elliptical. I thought at first that the bucket was misadjusted, and just the act of tilting the bucket was actually, putting pressure on this, or that all the years of me pushing, it's just pushing this out around. But more and more, the way that it worked out, either this is really thin metal, or it has frozen before. So I kind of want to drill a hole right here and just see if any water comes out, which I wouldn't think it would, because, well, everything here to me appears to be sealed. and dry lubed. But, you know, it's just a theory. And I can, of course, just crush this back together. And I haven't done that yet because it squeaks a little bit. But I swear since last year it's moved on its own. And I really haven't been doing a lot with the front bucket. So, anyway, I'm going to stay on task here, get this thing fixed. And this is going to be a much more convenient machine. I know I have bought these connectors somewhere. I just have a pile of them. But how many times am I going to steal from this super cheap connector bin that I have that I hate, that everybody has? Everybody has these. You know, shit that you shouldn't use, and then just old ass shit, and then crimpers that suck that aren't even in there, and a useless. That thing's useless. This one in particular, not that as a tool. Who uses phone jacks anymore? This is what you want, is a decent set of connector or crimpers. Even if you have shitty connectors, get a decent set of crimpers. Okay, bing bang boom. Let's give it a shot. So we know why it died, right? Oh my god. Didn't even wait for the oil light to go off. That's all I wanted to get my screwdriver. I mean, since I'm batting a 1, I kind of feel like fixing these rear lights next, because the fronts work. Let's do this again. Wheel light works. Ho ho ho! Oh my god, it's a life changer. So to fix these, that tool actually will be really pleasant to use. So let's check that out. Okay, so I've hooked this guy up. And because I'm left-handed, when I try to uncoil things, they don't ever uncoil right. So we have a big, coily mess. But I think the idea here is, let's just see what's going on here. Okay, so that doesn't feel like a ground. We should have ground though through the whole stupid thing. There's a little. Okay. We don't have exposure to the wire there. Let's check that side. All right. Huh. Shitty. Is that because of this tip, or is that because of this ground? Interesting. Okay, well, let's open one of these up next. Also, I just noticed all that rust. I'm going to need to take care of that too. That makes me sad. Ugh. The hoop, for the most part, looks okay, but... Oh, you poor thing. Nobody takes care of you. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Looking at this seems really dumb. Kind of going through this bushing here, which I guess that is solid, so. Alright, I'm going to hold opinions here. The other side, the ground is actually tapped up there. Anyway. So before we even bother going up there, we've got our 2 switches here. And it looks to me that guy. So these, whoops, you can't see what I'm doing. These are feeding out. So the question is, do we have power there? And to answer that, yes. And then here, saying we have a ground. Let's turn the switch on. We still have ground, so let's feed it power. There you go. So the problem is in the switch. This switch is not happy. Bing, bang, boom. So, should we just see if we can clean that switch up, or do we look for a quick replacement? Well, it lost its rubber cap. So, let's give it a little real sparingly. Expensive, but good. I don't see any life back there yet. I also don't know if I have a switch like this. Alright, that's the long position. Let's see what we got. We got jack and shit. Boy, that stuff really does do something, because you can, well, I guess maybe that's just, there's always been a clean spot there. Alright, so I'm going to pull that off, and we'll see what's going on. Yeah, that's pretty neat. This tool's already making life easier. That's sweet. Alright. Because I'm left-handed, I just am going to leave the cords in a giant fucking mess. And actually, if there's one thing I could change about this little tool, you can get these cheap. Like I said, I think I paid $30. I think this one went on sale because nobody likes the flames or something. It just wasn't selling, or it was an old one, or whatever. It just does 12 and 24 volts, which is all I needed. I think it'll do resistance too if you use this extra little thing. I don't even know. I can't remember. I just wanted something that could make things hot and cold, but I think if I had a tool like this, I'd want something with better cable management. These are okay cables. These connectors are okay. I'll show you these. Oh. I mean, they're the equivalent of like probably a 60 amp, hobby connector. That's a full on solid brass or whatever's in there. The wires are meh, I don't know. But for $30, hell yeah, because it'll come in handy, and it just did. I'm excited. We've already, between putting this seat on last year, sort of figuring out what deep maintenance this thing's gonna need, and I want to rebuild all these little linkages because they just really make it shitty. Plus all my everything's just rusted. These used to be pink. Yeah, I mean, you know, this machine comes in handy when you need it, and it sure can dig. So it's just it deserves a little bit of attention. Kind of like me. It's been burning the candle at both ends for 10 years, and you know, it's time to slow down, smell the roses, take a bath. I'm gonna give it a good bath, give it a paint, and even get rid of some of this nasty. Like, you know, there's no reason this guy can't. And it would anyway. It would live another 10, 20 years anyway. But we're going to get on top of some of the maintenance. I think even this belt is loose right now. So I'm actually going to tighten that up right now. Okay, so once I got the switch out, I ended up just working it back and forth, smacking it with the back of a screwdriver, and just kind of working at it, and I can't make it fail now. So rather than looking for a switch that I am not going to be able to find, at least on hand, I don't know if I have something like this. So I'm calling this good for now, and at least we know what the mystery is. It's this switch. So if it fails again, you know, I'll just get something here so that I can take care of it next time it bugs me. So I'm super psyched, man. We're in good shape. We can start. We can drive, and we have lights now. So that is way more convenient than what I've been doing the past couple of years. I don't know. Well, don't always have time. That's the problem. Some of the other stuff I worry about, like, I think with the support that's going on the bottom, this gets out of square. So you can see, like, right now, the front won't shut. But as soon as we get a balanced load, it squares up, and then that will shut. And I think what's been going on... Oh, it's not here. I swore that I had identified some cracking. It was a crack right in this area, but now I'm wondering if I just fucking dreamt it. I know this isn't exactly a pristine, beautiful machine. I don't see any crack. Maybe it was just I had some grease that fell down. Because I really thought I saw sort of a fracture that was starting there. So now I'm just going to shut up and say that my hope was that, well, actually, I don't even know if all this cancer is taking away too much from the actual strength, but at some point that plate's going to need to be replaced. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Yeah, so you've got this flexing. I'm guessing this is flexing in and out as the whole thing gets out of square. You know, so you've got this point as being sort of the main point, and it's beefed up on the inside. They actually put a strapping that comes up to here all the way down, so they actually accounted for that. You know, so it's about twice as thick right here, at least on the other side. Let's see what's going on here. I can get my hand in there. Yeah, there is. I can feel strapping that comes up to about where my finger is. So it could just be, over the years, this gotten a little brittle, but we're still not in a lot of danger. So I may drill out and, you know, just get that welded back up And I guess if worst comes to worst, we could just, you know, cut out a section and see what the state of that back plate is. Because I can't see it over here. I might be able to get a better look at this one. But either way, that's what's going on. It's the flex that is causing that. And of course you can see it here. So once I start this up, I think you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, we're not starting, so we do a little jiggle with our foot. It's pretty square. It's actually not as bad as I thought. It may just be this little piece down here that needs to be beaten in. Yeah, it gets kind of a weird setup. But maybe just beating this in a bit. That's a weird setup. I feel like this strap should be on the inside. Maybe somebody just did that wrong for convenience, you know? What were we looking at? Oh yeah, see that one's on the inside? Well, it wasn't me. Okay, another mystery solved. So, you know, the cracking, yeah, we want to take care of that. The adjustment of the front and rear drive units, we want to take care of that. And we want to be sure we get all this oiled up. There's old oil in there. I do stay on top of oiling the actual backhoe. Whenever it's making noise, when you hear it clank, that's when it's time to oil. And typically as soon as you oil it up, there's no more noise. I've got lots of noise now, and of course you do get noise from a few of these pins, but you shouldn't get noise just, you know, moving the arm and all that stuff. If you do, it means you got to oil. That's my take on it.